Now, Kupp says he basically dodged the bullet. He said he believes that he's dodging a bullet with the ankle injury based on how things felt for him after the game. So, Pete, just kind of sum up your thoughts. Watching Cooper Kupp out there catching that pass, meaningless reception. We like the points, but obviously we'd rather have Cooper Kupp healthy for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we blistered him. It was a terrible decision by Sean McVay, and I think if Sean McVay looked in the mirror, he'd tell himself it was a terrible decision. What's the reason for it? You're not coming from behind. You're getting blown out. The game's over. Run the ball, go home, and go to the next week. It just made no sense, and it's terrible to see a player like that, of that stature and that importance to that offense, get hurt in a situation like that. He shouldn't have been put in that situation. Take the quarterback out. Take the running back out. Take the stars out. Don't play until the end. There's no reason for it. We see it time and time again in this league. When the hell will these coaches wise up and learn?
Heath, in the event that Cooper Kupp does not play, clearly we'd be hands off Matthew Stafford, but would that help anybody in the Rams passing game that you would be more comfortable starting? Remember, there's 6 teams on a bye, so would you be looking at Allen Robinson? We know Van Jefferson was active yesterday, didn't really do anything. Skwarnik, Higbee gets a boost, I would assume, but is there anybody that you look at and say, okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable with this particular receiver if Kupp does not go? Again, we're hoping he's going to be out there for that big game against the Bucs on CBS in week number 9.
Yeah, I mean, I think Van Jefferson in his second game back, maybe he'll get it going. Sometimes when you come off that type of thing, it takes you a little while to get adjusted. So maybe Van Jefferson gets the bump, and maybe he gets the bump even if Kupp is out there because, again, it's another game removed, and maybe that's the possibility for Van Jefferson.
Yeah, I was going to say the Tampa Bay defense would get a big boost because Cooper Kupp is the only thing about this Rams offense that's even kind of good. Tyler Higbee's been a disaster the last 2 weeks. He would be a starting tight end. He's going to be a starting tight end whether Kupp plays or not. I think you'd have to look at Allen Robinson as a low-end number 3 wide receiver, but I would emphasize low-end even with 6 teams on a bye.
Higbee did have 6 targets. He left briefly in the game with an injury of his own, but was able to return. And we know there's the big play that everybody's talking about, Stafford missing Higbee on what could have been a big gain. Would have maybe changed the game a little bit as well, as they could have converted on a 3rd down play there. So Higbee should be fine moving forward, as Heath said, even though the disappointing performances the last 2 weeks. So we'll see how things go for this Rams offense. And I guess just moving forward, I'll say Prisco and Cummings, so we don't have the Heath-Pete dilemma that we're dealing with here when I try to throw it to one of the guys. All right, let's talk about the other injuries that we're looking at here. And again, not a lot of major ones. We did get news on Devontae Parker that if he is going to miss week 9, that might be the only game that he missed. That's according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. He left the game against the Jets with a knee injury. Mark Ingram has a knee injury, Irv Smith an ankle problem, and Richie James and Christian Watson dealing with concussions. In terms of these guys, again, we know Ingram is a backup. Irv Smith had his chance to take advantage of a great situation against the Cardinals, but unfortunately hurting his ankle. So maybe Johnny Munn gets an opportunity as a sleeper for week 9 as they take on the Commanders. Something to keep an eye on there. But really, these guys are just backups for your fantasy teams if they're rostered at all. So no significant injuries from the Sunday game. Now, on Thursday, we do have to keep an eye on those injuries. Mark Andrews with the shoulder problem, Gus Edwards with the hamstring problem, and Rashad Bateman with the foot injury. So we hope to get better news on those guys, and we did get the report on Sunday that Edwards' hamstring injury seems to be okay. So we'll keep an eye on that as we head into week 9.